So a couple days ago was the first day of fall, as far as the calendar is concerned anyway. Although it'll probably be a little bit before this video goes up, so it's a little bit of a time delay, production time. But it's been on my mind the last couple of years that I need to take advantage of the fall season a little more than I have been. I've kind of just done one big trip at the end of October in Zion. And then the rest of the month somehow I've just been too busy to go out and take any photos. And this year I wanted to change that, make it more of a priority. So I'm in Colorado, around the Mount Sneffels area. So my goal here is to seek out some of these vista views, you know, some of these mountain scenes that are really iconic, and keep an eye out for some fall color that I can shoot with the 4x5 camera. So it's still pretty early in the day. It's about 45 minutes to an hour past sunrise. That's some beautiful clouds this morning, just some cotton candy pinks, and yeah, it was gorgeous. But of course I got in late last night when it was dark. I just had to kind of find somewhere to stay for the night. But I know that I passed some really good stuff in the dark that I didn't get a chance to see. So the plan today is to kind of backtrack and go take a look at that, see what I'm working with. Just kind of scout more than anything. Get a look at Mount Sneffels and see what the state of the color is. And then just kind of see what trouble I can get into, you know, checking out some of these side roads. And there's a couple 4-wheel drive routes I want to check out. Hopefully they're not too much for my 4Runner because it's pretty rugged terrain. So we'll see how that goes. That's kind of the plan for the next few days, is just kind of see if I can scout out some viewpoints and take some shots of 4x5 and take you guys along and shoot some videos. So with any luck, we'll get some good stuff. Well, it's a new day, and I am out exploring some 4-wheel drive routes. It's still really early. It's about 8 in the morning right now. The sun's high, as you can see on my face. But there's a lot of really dark clouds. I know that there's some possible showers on the forecast today, so try not to pick routes that are going to get me into too much trouble. Most of this is pretty rocky terrain, so it should be okay. It's not a whole lot of mud. Plane going overhead, sorry about that. But the views up here are just gorgeous. I'm at about almost 13,000 feet right now, 12.8 actually, according to the sign right next to me. I got the digital kit out and I was shooting a panorama view of these mountains over here because it had some dapple light coming through. It's kind of gone now, so there isn't. I'll try to get some video of it, but it's not quite as good as it was just a bit ago. So I shot a vertical panel with the 24-70. I think it ended up being about 9 or 10 vertical frames. The views are fantastic, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of hard to time this perfectly. You kind of got to just get special conditions, you know. And if I get cloud interest and stuff, you know, photographic opportunities may be there. But I find when I do a lot of these 4-wheel drive routes, it's just kind of about exploring more than anything. I may or may not find anything to set the view camera up on, and that's okay, because I just want to see the views. And, you know, if I just shoot digital or something, that's fine. So I'm just trying to manage my expectations, as it all really is. Absolutely beautiful morning. It's early on a Friday, so the trail, I've been the only one on the trail so far, which is kind of good. Sometimes it gets pretty narrow. It's nice not to have to worry about trying to get past other vehicles. So I expect later today it'll get a little busier. Especially some of the trails I got picked are pretty popular. So we'll see how that goes.
If you were thinking that looks like a new camera, it sure is. The Chamonix 45F Mark II.
I set myself up on a viewpoint here, just roadside, literally right off the side of the highway here. As I was driving through, we've had a lot of cloud activity today, so there's been dynamic light pretty much all day across all of the mountains and stuff around here in the area, and it's just gorgeous. What I'm photographing behind me here is this mountain that's got this rust-colored red top to it, and in the foreground, or underneath it in the valley below, is a bunch of evergreens mixed with aspens that are turned color in various shades too. So you got some that are yellow, some that are green. It's kind of a mix of awesome colors, but as I was shooting, I was also getting some clouds coming over the composition too. So I had sky interest, I had fall color, I had a beautiful pointy red mountain. I had it all, it seemed like. What's even better is I didn't even have to go that far up the road to set it up, so it's awesome. So I've got the Chamonix 4x5 outfitted with my Fujinon 180mm f5.6 lens. And it's giving me, just about the right framing I need in order to get all of this trees in the foreground here, all of the stuff in the background, the mountain, everything perfectly framed in, and none of the things that I don't want. Like there's a little bit of grass here in front of me, and then it drops off into a ravine, and it's great, but I don't need it in the composition. I'm trying to exclude that. Plus I got some other, I have a clear spot here, but there's some other trees poking in, so I had to work around them a little bit, and this worked out perfect. So there's also a bald spot on this mountain where it looks like, it's about right there. It looks like it's just, just a landslide or something like that, where it left, some brighter colored rock, but it's kind of, I'm worried it's gonna be distracting. So the way that I've set up here, you notice that these evergreen trees kind of block in front of it. So that was intentional. Of course, it's still in the composition. There's not much I can do about that. But with the lighting that I've been getting, it's been changing and it's been really dynamic. So I've taken 2 exposures. I've taken a bunch on digital and then 2 on the Chamonix here. And what I was doing is, you might even see as I've been filming this, the light's been changing on the mountain over here. And I've been waiting until that light comes up and kind of highlights to the top of the mountain, which is kind of my prominent subject. And that bright spot is in shade. It's in shadow a little bit. So hopefully that keeps it from being too bright in the composition. But waiting for the right timing like this and getting the right lighting conditions not only hides that, but it also highlights my subject more. So it makes it pretty obvious what I want you to look at in the photograph. So originally I was thinking E6 transparency film on this one, but I was a little concerned that the sky would be a little too bright. I didn't want to blow anything out or meter for the sky and then lose my shadow detail here. So I was a little concerned about that, and I changed my mind and decided to shoot Ektar 100 on this one instead. But even still, with color negative being a little more dynamic range, I still put in a 2-stop soft edge graduated ND in there because I was still worried about that sky being a little too bright. So I ended up using quite a bit of front rise on this one, just because there is a ton of trees in the foreground here. And I don't want to tilt my camera up too far to where they start to converge in. So I'm using just about the limit of my front rise here to try to make sure I get enough of this sky in frame so that it isn't crowding the top of the composition with that. I think that's about it on this one. That's a wrap. That's all I'm going to shoot. Just the 2 exposures. That's actually all the color negative I have loaded. I have to load some more film if I want to shoot any more C41. But I'm glad I shot it when I did, because you see the sky starting to clear out a little bit over here. So I'm happy I got the cloud interest while I was there. So hopefully those exposures turned out. I don't know yet, of course, because I haven't seen the film, but through the power of movie magic, let's look on the light table and see what I got.
So here's the first sheet and the second one. And if I do a quick color inversion on the video so you can see what's going on here, the exposure on the left definitely has better shadow detail in the foreground, probably because it was getting more sunlight. I like the clouds on this one on the right, but the left exposure also has decent sky interest. Ultimately, I went with the exposure on the left just because the light on the mountaintop wasn't quite so harsh and showed the red colors a little bit better than the one on the right, which turned a little bit more orange in the direct sunlight. But as always, leave me a comment down below, let me know which one was your favorite, and here's my edited version. Thanks as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you can let me know by hitting that thumbs up button down below. And maybe while you're down there, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next video in this series. Special thanks to my Patreon patrons, And if you'd like to know more about how you can help me make more videos like this one, make sure you check out those links in the description. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next video.